Good evening and welcome to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, to Orleans Arena for this men's second round game of the West Coast Conference between the Portland Pilots and the Pepperdine Waves. My name is Josiah Frank and I'm here with Davis Hagen. And Davis, a little bit different today. Usually we're calling Washington State, sports or basketball in this case, but today doing something a little bit different and trying to call some more games of the WCC tournament. And for this game specifically, we're calling a great matchup between number 8 seed, the Portland Pilots, and the number 9 seed, Pepperdine Waves, in their last meeting, Davis, the Pilots kind of blew out Pepperdine by 20. That was just a couple weeks ago, February 27th, 87-67 ball game. But besides kind of that anomaly of the game, the two teams themselves, they average actually the exact amount points of game. They average 72.9 points a game. Portland is 208th in the country with that average, and they've had 2,261 points, while Pepperdine is in 210th place with 2,260 points. So they're separated by a single point of basketball. And David, just want to ask you a couple questions before we kind of get into this ball game as the starting lineups are starting. Davis, just kind of what are your initial thoughts about the environment? We're in Las Vegas here for the WCC tournaments. What are you kind of feeling as this is the first of many games that we're going to call?
This is going to be a really, really good tournament. 17 straight years this tournament's been held at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of pride on the line for these WCC teams. It's been St. Mary's and Gonzaga dominating this conference for basically the last 20 to 25 seasons. And so teams like Pepperdine and Portland, they typically face off against each other in these early rounds, and those games end up being some of the best games you see from the WCC conference. And both of these teams know that this is not just any other game. Your season is kind of on the line right now for these two teams, that who knows what kind of other tournaments they're going to be playing in. Probably not the big dances later in the season, but maybe NIT for a couple of these teams, they can make a run. But for Portland and Pepperdine, to see a lot of these fans out here for them that have made the trip down to Las Vegas, and it's really fun. This environment is really cool. Walking around Las Vegas earlier today, just seeing people in different gear around the hotel is really exciting. And I think this venue is very cool. It's really cozy in here. It's a little bit smaller than even Beasley's, a little bit wider. It feels like this is kind of everybody's on top of you. And so it's a really cool environment at the Orleans Arena.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely agree with this entire atmosphere of it's kind of nothing but basketball in this like smile, I don't know, maybe quarter-mile radius. And then kind of looking at this matchup between Pepperdine and Portland, the winner of this second round game, they're going to move on to play a kind of familiar friend of ours, Oregon State. The Beavers, who, Davis, you mentioned this before, kind of a sleeper maybe into this tournament. Davis, how do you think, depending on how this game turns out, what do you think it'll take to maybe beat a good team like the Beavers?
It's going to take a lot to beat Oregon State. They're kind of riding a little high right now going into the later half of the season, and then now riding into conference tournament play. And Oregon State's a team that I think could have a really good chance of kind of being a bid stealer or a dark horse to kind of make it a semifinal or a championship game in the WCC tournament. The Beavers have been playing really good. So both these teams know that any momentum they build in this game, they have to at least double that to maybe compete with Oregon State coming up in the next couple of days for these two teams trying to take on the Beavers. But this game is a really, really big deal for both of these two teams that are so evenly matched. You mentioned it's just separation of one total point for these two teams. And Pepperdine's a team that can fill it up, but you mentioned earlier today in a little bit of a highlight, film watching, they don't always have players that can get hot. They don't always turn it on. But if they can, they're a team that can really push teams to the wire.
Yes, absolutely. And then Davis, kind of looking at last kind of final thoughts, what kind of hope do these kind of like underdog teams have to hopefully maybe even have a shot at the big dance?
Well, these are the best times of the year. When you're a team like Pepperdine or Portland, or later tonight San Diego and Loyola Marymount, there's no reason your name can't be called on Selection Sunday if you just win the rest of your games. That's the beauty of college basketball. Every team's got a chance, and even if you had one of the worst regular seasons ever, you still have a chance to make the big dance if you can just win 6 games in a row. And basketball is a sport where that can happen. You can get hot and you just start making threes, and all of a sudden you're in the big dance. So a lot is on the line tonight. One of these teams' season is going to probably come to an end tonight, and that's unfortunate for them, but the other side knows that, and they want to be the team that knocks them off.
Yeah, everybody having an equal opportunity and a shot to make it ultimately to win the NCAA Division I Men's National Championship. We're about to tip off here The Portland Pilots in their navy with orange accents, and then Portland in their all whites, and Pepperdine in their navies with their orange accents. We're going to have Rapp and Koulibaly tipping off at the division line.
I'm excited to watch Rapp tonight. He's the WCC Freshman of the Year. He's a really talented player. This Portland team has a couple of really good players. This should be a really exciting matchup, and these are always the ones that seem like they go to overtime or it's right down to the wire.
And we are about to get started here in Orleans Arena in beautiful Las Vegas. A couple tips around, but Portland's going to end up with it. Mashik ends up with the ball, swings it over to McKinnon. McKinnon, one of those big stars for Portland. Couple swings around the arc. Dingdit's going to end up with it on the left wing. An entry pass. That's going to be over to Masick. Masick back to Dingdit. And Mace is going to huck up a corner three and it's going to put in the first three for the Pilots. Odom bringing up the ball for the Waves. Odom looking to get something started over here. 18 on the shot clock, a couple swings around. Todorkovich is going to end up with the ball. Swings it back up over to Buka. Buka to Josiah, who's going to put in an easy 15-footer for the Waves.
Yeah, both teams starting with the bucket. Portland with the three, and then Pepperdine with an answer, and a really good start for both sides, 1-for-1.
Trying to get something happening for Portland. 2-3 ball game, Portland leading. Dingditch. Left wing. A quick entry over to Majic. Hucks up a layup, no good. Rebound Odom. Odom, a beautiful cross-court pass over to Harris, which is no good. Rebound. Rapp swings it over to McKinnon. Hucks up a little floater, no good. Dangdick with the rebound. Great offensive rebound for him. Austin hucks up a corner three, no good. Rebound, Dojic. Odom and the Waves trying to get something going for Pepperdine. Odom trying to set up the offense. Both teams kind of taking their time. It's going to be a three. It looks like Budka, and it's going to be no good. McKinnon bringing up the ball for the Pilots. And it looks to be called for a travel, it looks to be.
Yeah, they're going to call travel on McKinnon, and he's a guy that can get to the rim pretty easily. I'm surprised he travels there. Portland's got a couple guys, like we mentioned, Rapp, and then McKinnon, that really are the force that drives this team forward.
Odom going to bring up the ball for the Waves. Odom kind of looking for a post entry, a couple swings around. He's going to end up back with it. Looking for maybe a screen. Screen by Koulibaly. He's going to huck up a three. Odom off the right iron. Rebound Portland. Majic trying to carve it to the lane. Pulls it back out. Rapp. Three ball. No good. Rebound Buka.
Well, after that 1-1 start for both teams, now they've gone pretty cold.
Koulibaly backing down Rapp in the post. The two bigs. And it's going to be called for a travel. Yeah, I was trying to kind of post him down there in the paint, but took a little too many steps. Not really a hop there, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like both teams just kind of feeling each other out, and it's going to probably be like this all game long. Both teams really evenly matched, and it's probably going to come right down to the last couple possessions.
3-2 ball game still. 17 minutes left in this first half. Portland leading. McKinnon back over to Rapp at the top of the key. Couple swings around. McKinnon's going to end up with it. Missed shot. Odom's going to end up with a rebound. He's going to fly coast to coast. Kicks out Dojic. Three ball, no good. Rebound Majic. He's going to bring it up for the Pilots. Majic sizing up Odom. Couple swings around to Austin. Austin sizing up Odom as well. Trying to maybe take it, but Majic's going to end up with it. Looking back at Austin. 13 on the shot clock. Austin posting up Odom. The two guards. And it's going to be a tip by Buka. Buka's going to go all the way. A quick, easy pass to Todorkovich. And he's going to put in another two for Pepperdine. Now leading 4-3, 16-12 in the first half. Majic Kicks it back out to McKinnon. A nice little pivot fadeaway for a 2 for him.
That's a good shot from McKinnon. Once he gets in the lane, he's pretty dangerous. Once he gets there, though, that's the biggest problem, is him getting there.
Odom, top of the key, swings over to Dojic. Looking to the post. Couple swings around. Odom's going to end up with it. Majic looking for a screen. Todorkovich going to throw up a 3. No good. Rebound McKinnon. McKinnon over to Majic. 3 ball, nothing but nylon. And he's going to give a little phone signal over to the Pepperdine crew as Odom's going to bring up the ball. Odom in the waves, trying to get something going. Buka back over to Todorkovich. Todorkovich trying to size up Rapp. Koulibaly's going to end up with it in the post. Going to hook up a couple pump fakes and it's going to miss the lay. Rebound Rapp. Rapp swings it over to Dingditch. And it looked to be over to McKinnon. Batted away. Odom's going to end up with it. He's quick. Moving down to the court. Swings it over to the corner to Majic. But it's going to be out of bounds. And we're going to have a timeout here.
Yeah, that guy just Todorovic was out of bounds. Those corner spots in college basketball have been pushed out since the three-point line has been extended, and a lot of players seem to be stepping on the sidelines, and that just happened again for Pepperdine, and they turned it over. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again in this game. It seems like these teams that are kind of lower in the conference standings make those kind of mistakes over and over again.
Yes, absolutely. I believe both of these teams, we've talked about it, it's going to be, we believe, a very close matchup.
Yeah.
Portland on the year 12-19 overall, 7-11 in conference, and then Pepperdine a little bit worse of the record, 10-21 overall, but 4-14 in conference, kind of struggling in that conference play. But both these teams are at 8th and 9th seed. So, whoever makes it out of this is going to play a good Oregon State team. But if you lose, you go home and probably your season's over. You're not really looking at NIT and these other maybe tournaments. It's probably a wrap for you. In the big dance, it's definitely over. So definitely want to see both of these teams compete at a high level. And right now, for 5 minutes in this game, 14:48 left at this timeout. And, it's just a 4-point game. Very low scoring, slowing the ball down, trying to get good shots up. It's only an 8-4 game right now.
It does seem like both teams are very content with taking a lot of time on possessions to make sure they get the right shot instead of forcing something up. Portland has the advantage at the moment by 4, and really the only reason is they just have taken more shots almost than Pepperdine. Pepperdine just has not really gotten much to go down, but it's really early in this game, and both teams kind of just feeling each other out right now in this it's a good boxing match. They're just getting the little jabs here and there, and then at some point, one of these teams is going to go on a run. Can the other one answer is going to be the question, because basketball, game of runs, it's going to be an interesting thing to see if Pepperdine can get some of their players going, because obviously Portland's got Rapp and then McKinnon, who's done a really good job. McKinnon has a career high this year, 43 points, so he's definitely a guy that can fill it up, and Pepperdine's half their points came off that one dunk on a fast break opportunity, so their offense hasn't really succeeded so far in the first couple minutes, but it's really, really early in this game.
Yeah, Rapp and McKinnon both earning WCC honors, which you love to see as a team, with McKinnon earning second team recognition, and then Rapp freshman of the year for WCC. And for Portland, that has not happened a ton. And the first major conference award since TJ Campbell back in 2009. And Rapp's going to end up with the ball out of the timeout for Portland. Swings around. Austin's going to take it, tries to carve into the lane, looking for maybe Ding Dit. Couple swings. Rapp, right wing, posting up. Behe swings it out over to Mazick. 3-ball, no good. Offensive rebound, McKinnon. McKinnon looking at Austin. Little 10-footer, fade away, nothing but net. Odom's going to end up with it. Odom, couple swings around. He's going to give it to Koulibaly. Koulibaly back to Odom, trying to work his way into the lane. Koulibaly, couple swings around. Odom's going to get it. Nice behind-the-back move. Looking for maybe a foul. Odom looking inside of Buka. Buka's going to put up a nice, easy post move for 2. 10-6 ball game. Portland leading 13-48. Majic looking maybe for Rapp. Ding Dick at the left corner, looking at Austin in the post. McKinnon's going to end up back with it. A spin around move. And McKinnon's going to end up with an easy 2 as Odom's going to bring up the ball for the Waves.
After that timeout, both teams really starting to fill up the score sheet.
Koulibaly over to Odom, trying to carve into the lane. A quick kick out over to Bitha. His 3 is good, putting them up a couple more. 12-9 ball game. Portland leading by 3. 13:07 in this game. Majic to Rapp over to Ding Dick. Ding Dick on the right wing. Guarded heavily by Koulibaly. Austin's going to end up with it. Inside to McKinnon. Post move. Step up dribble. No good. Rebound to Dorkovic.
Koulibaly was right next to that ball. He looked like he might have got a fingertip on it, and it was a pretty short floater in the lane, but it almost airballed.
Koulibaly back over to Buka. They both are going to miss the lay. Tries to fight for the offensive rebound, but it's going to end up Portland basketball.
Taj Audu, along with Danilo Dosic, check in.
Got a couple news checking to the game. David Major, the 6'4". David Major listed here on our stat sheet at 6'4". But Dave, I don't know about you, but he looks a little taller than that. No, excuse me. Jermaine Balsinger-Webb, he's going to check in, the tall 7'1" from Denmark, as Portland's going to end up with the basketball. Majic's trying to drive into the lane, but there's going to be a foul on the ground.
35, Danilo Dosic is first team foul.
First team foul for the Waves. Delano, who just checked into the game, is going to inbound it for the Pilots. Gives it over to Balsinger. Balsinger back over to Delano. Delano looking at Austin. A couple heaves over across the court. Delano's got to huck up a little 17-footer, and it's good.
That was an athletic jab step from Delano. A little step-back fader mid-range. Really an impressive play.
Duke bringing up the ball for the Waves. Swings it over to Buka for 3. No good. Rebound, Majic. Majic bringing up the ball. Swings over to Rapp. 3 ball good.
That was really good transition basketball. Set up for the 3 on the far side and then spotted up. Rapp with another great shot.
Duke bringing up the ball for Pepperdine. And there's going to be a timeout. Now it's a 17-9 game. What was just a second ago a really close game within 4 or 3. But now after a nice fadeaway by Delano and then another great shot by Rapp, it's kind of extended this lead a little bit more, with Portland now leading 17-9, 11-40, as Pepperdine's going to take their first time out of the game.
That's a good start so far for Portland after that media timeout where they were a little bit slow. They only had 8 points up to then, and now they're just really putting it into gear. A couple of threes for them, and that's really how you start to separate yourself, especially against Pepperdine, where they're not making their threes right now. They're trying to get it inside, and Portland's just like ripping these threes through the net, and it's very impressive to see this offense once it gets clicking. And that's kind of been the problem for both these teams, is when you're playing in this 8-9 game of the WCC conference, there's obviously a lot of things that have not gone right for you in this season. And for Portland, so many bursts of great offense this season and a lot of great players, but can they put it all together every single possession? And it has not happened this season. But in this game so far, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like also this game has also been going by relatively very fast. You know, it started at 6 o'clock and it's 6:15 right now. Not a ton of fouls, and the pace is just kind of moving. The time is like dwindling. And for a team like Pepperdine, you don't want Portland to kind of gain on you pretty quickly. And, you know, with the clock not stopping at, the free throw line or with fouls, it can get out of hand extremely quickly.
It really can, especially nowadays with a basketball that kind of takes a really long time. Basically a minute for a minute right now. Real time to basketball time, those are not the same thing, but right now it kind of feels like it.
It does. And maybe we said that a little too soon. Maybe it's going to start slowing down a little bit. But yeah, Pepperdine right now kind of in a little bit of trouble as we're waiting for the first horn. which should be going off here in a second after the Pepperdine cheerleading team finishes off with their routine. And the first horn going off.
One of the interesting things is we were talking about going on a run. Portland just went on a run. And
Yes.
now can Pepperdine respond? If Pepperdine doesn't respond, will they be able to come back in this game? This is kind of the next couple of minutes, the next 3 or 4 minutes, very, very crucial for this game and how it goes as far as Pepperdine's concerned. For Portland, if they can continue to extend on this run, that would be huge for them. And to maybe extend this lead is maybe put this game away if they can go on a little run in the next couple of minutes.
It's got to happen for Pepperdine. Pepperdine's going to inbound the ball, and it looks like Todorovic is going to end up with it. Hucks up a shot, mid-range, no good. Rebound by Majic. Majic's going to bring up the rock for the Pilots. Looking for Rapp, gives it to him, but gives it right back to Majic. Looking for a big screen by Webb. Going to be a foul on the ground, though, after Balziger's screen. Going to be a second team foul for the Waves. Stays Portland ball. Delano going to inbound it for the Pilots. Balzinger's going to end up with it. Looking for Rapp. Rapp, 3. Also good again. Nothing but nylon for Rapp. And he has 6 early into this game. Duke bringing up the ball for the Waves. Duke swings it over to Dojic. Dojic back over to Todorovic. Looking back over to Duke. A good entry over to Dojic, but bobbles it around. 6 on the shot clock. Todorovic is going to have to huck up a shot. He does, and it's going to be an offensive rebound off the miss. Dojic's going to end up with it. Over to Duke. Carves into the lane. Todorovic. Bounce bash over to Duke. A couple bounce passes, but doesn't look like they're going to get a shot up. And it looks to be Kolabali and maybe Balziger were kind of diving at it at the ground for like a jump ball.
Well, that's a lot of size on the ground. That's a long way down for a 7'1" player.
7'1", 250.
Yeah, huge player. And then on the other side, 6'10", when really probably 6'11", maybe even just grazing 7 foot in Coulibaly.
Duke going to end about the ball for the Waves. 5 on the shot clock. It's going to be Todorovic in the post. A little fadeaway, no good. And what should have been maybe a rebound by Balziger is going to get tipped away, and it's going to be, looks to be there's going to be a foul on the ground on Balziger, his first. And it's going to reset the shot clock for the Waves. Couple inbounds. Odom's back into the game and throws a nice alley over to Coulibaly for the slam.
That was a really nice play from Odom, who's been a electric guard so far in this game. He's been really quick with the ball, and if he can get going, Pepperdine can also get going.
Rapp, handoff to Austin. Gives it right back to Majic. Majic's going to huck up a 3. It's going to be good. And it is raining threes for the Pilots today.
That's 3 threes for Majic, and then on the other side, two threes for Rapp, which Portland is just lighting up the scoreboard from the three-point line.
Quick foul by Delano from the Pilots on Odom for the Waves. Going to be on the ground quickly. Odom tried to huck up a shot there, but I don't think they're going to give him that.
Yeah, he's at half court. I don't know how many players just randomly shoot a half court with 26 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, definitely not a ton, that's for sure.
It's an interesting strategy. Maybe Steph Curry. That's like maybe the only player that could do that.
Yes, and actually I don't want to say get away with it, but definitely get the free throws. And
right.
It looks to be the officials are going to take a peek at it, which also gives the teams a chance to kind of discuss. Definitely not a timeout. They're staying on the ground. The stools are not coming out, but definitely a chance to maybe go over a few things right now. Portland now leading 23-11. That pace kind of picked up a little bit. 9:47 left in this first half. But yeah, Portland on a commanding lead, and we're waiting for the official review from the officials.
Portland is 4 of their last 4 field goals, so they're really on a roll at this point. It was 8-4 back at about 14:48 on the clock when the first media timeout happened. It's 23-11 at this point in the game. So a really good explosion of offense from the Pilots.
And it's going to be on the ground. And it looks to be Betha's going to inbound it to Odom. Odom quick to Todorovic. Todorovic back over to Odom. Back to him. Todorovic guarded by Austin. Swings it over to Odom. Odom, right wing. Try to do an entry to Koulibaly. He's going to finally get that entry pass. Kick out over to Betha for 3. And it's going to put in a much-needed points for the Waves.
Definitely a much-needed bucket to cut this lead from 12-9. Really good shot.
Majic for the Pilots. Tries to Cars, but Cars out into the lane. Gives it to Rapp, double team. Thought about a 3, doesn't do it. Looking at Austin, 12 on the shot clock. Gives it over to McKinnon, the guard. McKinnon looking by screen by Majic. Looked at him. Majic, 5, 4, 3 on the shot clock. Majic's got to huck up a shot. And it's going to be a kickball violation with 1 second on the shot clock. It's going to be resetted, though, due to the kick violation. 8:54 left in this ball game. Portland leading 23-14.
One of the other interesting things in this game is Rapp does not look like a freshman. He's the freshman of the year, but he's 6'10", 230 pounds from Australia. So he does not just look like your traditional freshman.
Austin driving into the paint. Throws up a fadeaway, and I believe he's going to go to the stripe on a foul. Pepperdine was kind of looking maybe for a travel or something of some sorts, but he's going to go put in some free throws, which I believe are the first free throws of the game, if I'm corrected. Oh, no, it's going to be on the ground. No shooting foul. McKinnon looking to pass the ball into Austin from the baseline. Austin trying to maybe draw another foul. McKinnon backing down. Quick swing to Rapp, who's been hot. 3 ball. That first one's no good. Odom's going to bring up the ball. Odom carving all the way to the lane. Hucks up, and it's going to be an and 1. Almost lost the ball there.
Yeah, good athletic move from Odom. He's a very crafty player. And then now we'll finally get our first free throws of the game.
Yes, exactly. What we thought would have maybe been the first free throws, as Odom's going to go to the stripe for 1. 23-16 game. Portland still leading, 8:33 left. Todorovic is going to sit down for the Waves as Olvera is going to check in, the Houston, Texas native. Odom's 1 free throw. Right down the middle. Also checking in is Micah Ballou from Palmdale, California. It's going to give Austin a break for the Pilots. McKinnon bringing up the ball for Portland. McKinnon trying to set up the offense. Hands it off to Rapp. Rapp trying to drive into the lane. Was looking for a foul. Gets the call. Going to be foul on the arm. And it's going to be a foul on the ground.
Yeah, as soon as he got that ball knocked out, he put his arms up in confusion of why there was no whistle, and then immediately after there was a whistle, so he got what he wanted.
McKinnon baseline looking to inbound. He's going to get it over to Dangdit. Dangdit back over to McKinnon, back to him. Dangdit in the post, guarded by Koulibaly. Little jump move, no good. Rebound, Koulibaly. Koulibaly back over to Odom. Odom, who's been a fast player for Pepperdine. Swings it over to Olvera. Olvera to Odom. Odom try to entry over to Butka. Batted away. McKinnon's going to end up with it. McKinnon swings it over to Majic. Guarded heavily. Back over to McKinnon. Gives it over to Dingdick. Pump fakes a 3. Gives it to Majic. His 3's also no good. Rebound. Looks to be Olvera. And it's going to go the other way.
A foul on Rapp.
Yeah.
On a back, pushing the back on the rebound attempt. And that not necessarily necessary for a 6'10" player of his caliber. And twice now, Portland has gotten called with a push in the back on rebounds.
Yeah, definitely don't want to get them into foul trouble early. Majic and Rapp right now, the leading scorers for Portland. with Majik with 9, and then Rapp with 6. And Davis, what are you kind of seeing from those two players? Which, talking about Portland, the two that, most people kind of point to is McKinnon and Rapp. McKinnon being that second team all WCC, and then Rapp being, the freshman of the year. But Majik kind of having a good first half so far with 9 already.
I think that's the key piece that has been missing for Portland this entire year is that extra player. Obviously, McKinnon and Rapp are very good players, but Majik in this game has been so phenomenal, just lights out from the three-point line. And if they had maybe this Majik the entire season, maybe this is a different story, and maybe Portland is playing tomorrow instead of today. But that's just how it goes in the WCC. If you don't have, sometimes you don't have your best game, and it's a really tough league. The WCC, we were talking earlier in the day, kind of like the Pac-12. Teams are just beating each other up, except for St. Mary's and Gonzaga, who are just streets ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, definitely need an extra factor if you want to move on. And really, it's kind of win and survive, advance and survive. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to WCC basketball here on KUGR. First horn is blown, and we're going to get out of the timeout. We are 7 minutes left, 7:40 left, into this first half, with the Portland Pilots leading the Pepperdine Waves 23-17, as Bethe is going to inbound it to Odom for the Pepperdine Waves. Odom bringing up the rock, trying to maneuver, swings over to Bethe, back to him. Trying to look for maybe a post entry to Coulibaly. Almost throws up an alley, a couple bats, and it's going to end up Portland basketball. Can't really see behind the kind of stem of the backboard. Yep, it's going to end up Portland ball. Pepperdine really maybe not too happy about the call. Dinged it. It's going to end up with it. It's going to be called for a moving screen on, I believe, McKinnon, and he's kind of a little shocked about that.
Yeah, putting his hands over his head. He definitely knocked him over.
McKinnon having for himself for the Pilots, but Odom and the Waves are going to try to make something happen on the offensive side. Coulibaly, hand off to Odom. Odom swings it over to Olvera. Olvera back over to Bethe. Odom's going to hook up a three. Rattles in and out, no good.
That's a tough roll for Odom. That was about halfway down and then came out.
McKinnon swings the ball over to Ballou for a three. Corner three's no good. Batted away, though, on the rebound. It's going to stay Portland ball, and definitely kind of maybe wanted that rebound on that defensive opportunity for the Waves. McKinnon, right baseline, gives it over to Dinged it. Dinged it in the post. It takes it out. Swings it over to McKinnon. 14 on the shot clock. Looking for a screen by somebody. Gets a double screen. McKinnon guarded heavily. McKinnon's going to throw up a hook shot. Rebound. Dinged it. It's going to put up the easy putback.
That was a great positioning rebound from Dinged it to get that ball in there. There was nobody around him. No Pepperdine Wave at all in that area code.
Odom, the Bronx native, swings it over to Todorovic. Checking back into the game. Odom back over to Bethe. Bethe back over to Odom. Odom looking to Buka. Buka Backing down to the lane, another three by Odom. That one's also going to be no good, but an offensive rebound by Coulibaly. Olvera's going to end up with it. Sizing up McKinnon, hucks up a three, no good. And there's going to be a foul called.
Yeah,
Look to be in the paint.
Going to be the third push in the back on the rebound. That one goes against Blue for Portland. That's the third separate player to get one, but they've done it time and time again. Every time one goes up, they're just putting the chicken wing in the back of these Pepperdine Waves players.
Portland already at 6 fouls early into this game, as we have the ESPN broadcast over on the kind of mega screen, center court. Odom's going to inbound it. Waves players are going to swing around the court, but there's going to be another foul into the paint, and it looks to be head coach Shante Leggins. He looks to be very upset with the Portland basketball team, as that's their 7th team foul already, and we are 5:51 left into the first half of this game. Todorovic, his free throw after bonus, rattles in. 25-17, 5:51 left. 25-18 with that free throw. Pepperdine is down. Todorovic. The next one, right down Broadway.
That ends their scoring drought of 2 minutes and 40 seconds, but it doesn't end their field goal drought of 2 minutes and 40 seconds, as the free throws are not field goals. So Pepperdine's still searching for a field goal in the last couple of minutes.
McKinnon driving easily in the lane, a little up and under with the left hand, but another 2 for Portland. Offense has not been an issue for the Pilots. Odom bringing up the rock. Couple swings around. Todorovic is going to get a handoff. Looking to drive the cup. A little step back move, and it's going to go in. Todorovic with back-to-back points for the Waves. McKinnon guarded by Odom. Backing down Odom. Looking to pass out. Gives it to Austin, a little 15-footer, and just kind of floats up a little jump shot up and in. Odom, right wing. Entry over to Todorovic in the post. Throws up a pump fake. Couple jabs, and throws up another easy 2. Now he has a quick 6 for Todorovic. Majic bringing up the ball. He has tons of room in the lane. Going to get called for a foul. He had a freeway into the key for an easy lay, but it collapsed, and he's going to get fouled and go to the line.
Yeah, definitely a lot of room for Masic, and a really good three-point shooter. That time, instead of taking the three, he takes it to the rim. So really good decision on his part. A lot of times the really good shooters, they just end up firing those threes, but sometimes you got to take it to the rim.
Todorovic trying to cut that lead by himself for Pepperdine, but Portland now leading 29-23, 4:38 left. Majic's first free throw is no good. Maybe wanted that, as this first half is kind of nearing the end. A couple more Waves players are going to check into the ball game. Alonzo Foray, the Spaniard's going to check into the game. It looks like Betha's going to try to check back in as well. Majic, the second. Good. He's going to check into the game, as Zojic as well checked in. Taking a breather for Olvera. 4:38 left in this game. Portland leading by 7. Odom crossing the logo. Trying to set a play up. Todorovic over to Dojic. Back to him. Guarded heavily by Dangdit. Trying to size him up. There's a mixed match there. Gives it back. 13 on the shot clock, but he's going to end up with it. Gives it over to Odom. Back over to Todorovic. 3 ball rattles in and out. His first miss in a second. Dangdit to rebound. McKinnon's going to end up with the ball for the Pilots. Leading by 7, 4 minutes left in this first half. McKinnon looking for a screen behind the back. Swings it over to Austin, left wing. Austin trying to size up. Majic's going to end up with it. Hucks up a left wing 3, and that's going to fall in.
Well, it's interesting for Masic, who missed 1 of 2 at the free throw line, and then he's just firing from 3, no problem.
Odom trying to carve into the lane. Couple swings around. 4 is going to end up with it. Beatha's going to do a step back 3, but it looks to be maybe another foul into the paint. Yeah, it's going to be a push. And that's going to be the 8th team foul for the Pilots early. And, they're starting to rack them up a little bit too much. And, it's one thing to maybe have, quite a few fouls like in the first half, but it's kind of continuing to be a problem. So we'll see kind of, how that kind of plays out later into the second half. If, players like Rapp are going to maybe start getting into foul trouble.
Yeah, you definitely don't want Rapp to get into foul trouble. And right now for Portland, all the fouls have been spread out, which is really good. Nobody's got 2 yet. But that's something that can definitely change, especially if they're going to keep pushing these players in the back. For Pepperdine, on the other side, you're going to want to attack those players like Rapp and like McKinnon to try to get them out of this game, except for the fact that Masic is going off right now for Portland, who has typically not really had that extra guy helping them out other than McKinnon and Rapp in this season. But it's a really, really good first half so far for both sides. But Portland is definitely still – they went on that run early after that first media timeout. Pepperdine has responded a little bit, but it hasn't been exactly the response maybe that they wanted, as they're still down by 10 points. And Portland, with 33 in this first half, how can they continue to play good on offense, but also can they rebound better without pushing in the back? Can they do that and maybe box out in the traditional fashion?
Yes, Portland right now on the offense side of the basketball, like you mentioned, they're playing extremely well. Rapp, putting in threes. You got Magic putting in points as well. Magic right now with 13 points right now, and he's definitely not averaging those types of numbers. Magic right now averaging 9.9 a game. So right now in the first half alone, he's already beating his season totals, having a great night. So, definitely one of the players that are starting to step up into this game. But yeah, on the defensive side, they keep on shoving in the back and get these kind of cheaper fouls. It's not like they're, hacking on the ball or, on a shot and giving them free throws. It's kind of cheap things where you just got to keep your hands straight up.
Especially for a team that's that tall. You got 6'10" players, 7-foot players. There's really no need for that, especially when you're behind. You're out of position. There's no reason for that. And that's a silly foul for Rapp, even though he's only got 1 in this game. Those are the kind of fouls that later in the game you look back and see where did his fouls come from. And if he's got a couple with the push in the back, then your head coach, you're going crazy, because you got to get fouls in the right ways and like at the rim when you're trying to go for a block or something, and not on a rebound attempt in the first half with like 10 minutes left.
Height is definitely a thing for the Pilots. That's Todorovic is going to go to the stripe. The free throw, the first one, good, because the Waves are now in bonus. But yeah, looking at height, 7'1", 7 foot, 6'8", 6'6", 6'4", 6'5", 6'8", 6'10", 6'11", 6'5". It goes on and on and on for the Pilots. So they cannot be affording those cheap fouls, as the second free throw is also down Main Street. And the Waves are going to kind of start in a little press, a little 1-2-2. The Pilots still going to break it easily. Rapp's going to end up with it. Swings it over to McKinnon. 3 ball. Rattles in and out. Rebound to Todorovic. Cross-court pass over to Odom. Odom looking over at Beatha. Beatha swings it over to Dojic. Dojic gives it to Beatha in the post. Guarded triple team. Hucks up maybe a bad shot. Rapp's going to outlet the ball, bringing up the ball coast to coast. The big freshman, Rapp, throws up a lay, no good. Rebound, Odom. Odom's going to take it cross court. The tempo has definitely changed in the game. Dojic, for the 3. Should have been a rebound by Rapp, and doesn't get the board off of the missed 3 by Dojic. Dojic, who hasn't seen a ton of minutes, usually like in the lineup, actually started tonight. A little unfamiliar kind of for him. Odom on the baseline. Swings it over to 4-8, back over to Odom. A little right elbow free throw shot. It is good. Going to cut the lead down to 6. McKinnon bringing up the rock. The Pilots in there all white. Couple swings around. McKinnon's going to end back with it. Looking at Magic, who's been hot tonight. Magic looking for maybe a screen by Austin. Hucks up a 3, no good. Rebound Dojic. Oh, batted away, nearly lost. But Odom's going to get it after the heave from Todorovic. A quick pass, nearly a half-court pass over to 4A for the lay. he's going to miss it, but going to get fouled yet again and go to the strike.
Well, it looks like they're going to call an intentional foul with the crossed arms from the referee. So a really big decision.
An intentional foul. Yeah, I really don't know about that. They're going to take a look at it. Davis, you tell me. That kind of looked almost like a common, you don't want him to score, of course,
right.
But, you're trying to kind of go after the ball, but you also in the same way, you don't want him to get 2 easy points on what it should have been an easy layup. We're trying to look to see if we can find this replay, and we don't. Oh, yeah, we get to see the replay, and I don't know. To me, that kind of looks like a common foul.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call that maybe. Yeah,
I can see a little bit when Austin's grabbing his shoulder and pulling him down a little bit.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty close. To me, an intentional foul and an open path to the basket type sense is more of when you're going to call that. Down low, it's kind of just a battle. It's always almost an intentional foul for a smaller guy like Austin going up against the bigger player. You don't really see it all that often being called that low to the basket, but I could definitely see where the referee would see those 2 hands on the shoulder bringing him down. But was he going for the ball enough? I don't know.
That has to be it, as we're getting another look. Yeah, and it's going to be reversed to a common foul. Yep, definitely a good reverse of a call. I mean, you're looking at a guy that, is not terribly huge. And trying to bring back Foray, who is 6'10", 230,
Yeah, I think the hands on the shoulders bringing it down, the only reason they're there is because he's going for the ball up top.
Exactly. He's trying to get up there. Kind of can't, 6'10" with a long wingspan, definitely hard. Alonzo Foray is going to go over to the charity stripe. His first free throw. Up and in. Now cutting that Portland lead to 5. 28-33 with Portland still leading. 2:12 left into the first half. The second free throw, also nothing but nylon. Rob's going to inbound the rock. Another 1-2-2 press set up for the Pepperdine Waves. It's going to be beaten easily, though, kind of a light press. McKinnon over to Majic, back over to him. Screen, Daigdick, looked at the roll, didn't give it to him, gives it to Rapp. An easy up and under move for him. Finishes on the left side. And he's going to put in another 2 for himself. Odom thought about a 3, didn't do it. Gives it over to Todorovic. Todorovic sizing up Daigdick. Woo, had him on skates for a second. And it's going to be a double dribble call. He lost the ball, gained control back to it as he tried to bat it back to Odom. But, yeah, that's an easy call for the officials.
Yeah, he knew that he couldn't grab it, and he thought maybe he could get away with it if he touched it, but the refs are all over that.
You can't do that, especially at D1 ball.
Right.
It's not, second, third graders, unfortunately. McKinnon going to end up the ball with the Pilots. We're within 1:30 into this half. Daigdick thought about 3, drives to the free throw line. A whole bunch of kicks. Rapp's going to end up with it and puts in another 3 for the big freshman.
I can see why he's the freshman of the year. He's a really, really good player. 6'10" that can shoot the 3. Yeah, fantastic player. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not at Portland next year, especially with the way this college basketball world is now.
Dojic's going to hook up a 3 for the Waves. No good. Rebound by McKinnon as, Rapp, the true freshman, has 11. He's calling for the ball. He's going to hook up another 3. Corner 3, no good. Rebound to Todorovic. Odom with the high sock look. Don't see that a ton anymore. So maybe that's like the Bronx native in him. A little New York flavor. And Doshik's going to end up with it. Nice little move, a little fadeaway jumper's no good. Rebound, Majic. 33 seconds left in this ball game. Portland leading 38-29. And we are going to get a timeout by, I believe it's going to be Portland. They're going to call a quick timeout as they can take a little break, trying to maybe hold it for a good shot, not the last shot with the shot clock and game clock being a little different off about 6 or 7 seconds. But, Davis, kind of first half, maybe like inside. What do you think it went well, at least for the Portland side?
Yeah, for Portland, it's been a really good first half. 38 points so far, and their three-point shooting has been really off the charts so far. 7 of 16, 43%, and Pepperdine just 2 threes. So Portland really making their money from the three-point line. And that last three from Rapp that didn't go in, I would give him that ball 10 times out of 10 to shoot it. He was open. He's calling for it. A good rhythm shot, just didn't fall for him. And Portland, I think they're feeling a really good rhythm. That early part of that game was really slow. Both teams kind of not really sure what was going on, if they wanted to go hard, kind of feeling each other out. The pace car really hadn't left the track yet, and then now all of a sudden both teams are kind of going hard at it. And I think Portland's in a really good position going into this half. I think there was a really smart timeout. You get to use it or lose it timeout. You lose one at halftime anyway, so you got to call it with about 30 seconds left, draw some good play up, and I am curious to see where they go. Do they go to McKinnon, Masich, or Rapp? Those are basically the only three players on offense that have done anything for Portland so far, but they've done a really good job.
Yeah, amazing. He's had a night tonight as himself. He's going to, McKinnon's going to hold it for a little bit. Tries to drive to the lane, looking for Mazik, gives it over to Rapp, corner three, almost rattled in, no good. Rebound by Odom, he's got to go quick. He's going to try to go to the cup, and it's going to ultimately lose the basketball. Thought maybe he got fouled or something there. Doesn't get the call. Going to be Portland basketball for the last 7.7 seconds of the first half.
Yeah, that ball just slipped out of his hands, and he was so close at that point to the basket that it just goes right out of bounds. Just unfortunate event for Odom.
Quick passes. Majic, he's going to end up with it. Gives it to Rapp for the last shot. And officials are going to blow a whistle.
Foul on the floor, number 9.
And there's going to be a foul on the floor. Duke is going to get called for it. Checked in the game for Odom. Now 3.1 seconds. Rapp to inbound. Quick handoff over to McKinnon. One, and he's not going to get it off in time. And swatted away by a couple of Pepperdine players. And that's going to be the first half. It's going to be 38 Portland. Pepperdine losing 29. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but you're listening to the WCC tournament in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada on KUGR. Welcome back to Orleans Arena here for the WCC tournament here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Josiah and I'm with Davis Hagen. We're about to get started into the second half, and both teams are starting to warm up. And Davis wanted to talk a little bit more about the overall tournament and kind of the atmosphere and kind of like what's going on, who's playing, what's the schedule like. And if you're tuning in right now, kind of what you can look forward to in the next couple of days, as me and Davis are going to call a lot of basketball, with WSU, definitely being the highlight of that. But, we're calling around the entire conference. In this next game that Davis will be calling play-by-play for, it's going to be between LMU, Loyola Marymount, the Lions, who are 16-14 and who are a 7th seed, against San Diego, who actually played yesterday, won, and now have that shot to play against LMU. They are 5-26 on the season, 2-16 in conference. So they're trying to hope for maybe like a Cinderella type of conference. And you're kind of looking at the schedule upcoming in these next days. You have that LMU and San Diego game tonight. Looking at tomorrow on the women's and men's side of the games, but at least for the men's, Oregon State's going to play the winner of this game, as well as WSU is going to play the winner of the game after this one. And then on the women's side, at 12 and 2:30, San Francisco and the game 2 winner, and at 2:30, St. Mary's and the game 3 winner. So we got a lot of basketball. And then, Davis, I wanted to ask you before we kind of get started, we kind of brought up an interesting point that the WCC has kind of been dominated recently, not even recently, over the past couple of decades by mainly Gonzaga and St. Mary's. And there's a cool stat that it's usually the number 1 and number 2 seed in Gonzaga for the first time in about 27 years, longer than we've both been alive, is maybe in jeopardy of like missing the tournament for the first time, which is unheard of for Spokane fans. Davis, what do you think maybe could be a little bit different this year than just kind of a regular old 1-2 matchup between Gonzaga and St. Mary's like it usually is?
Yeah, I think this year is really special because St. Mary's is a team that's really been dominant this season. The only loss they have all regular season is to San Francisco, not even Gonzaga. They swept Gonzaga this year. 2 wins against Gonzaga. They clinched the WCC conference title at the Kennel in Spokane for the first time ever. It was the first time anyone's ever clinched a victory of the conference in the regular season at the Kennel. And so Gonzaga, in unfamiliar territory, they've been so dominant over these last 2 decades plus with Mark Few at head coach. But Nate Bennett on the other side down in Moraga, California for the St. Mary's Gales, they have really been a team that has come up in the ranks in this WCC conference. And it's been Gonzaga and St. Mary's for as long as we've been alive, as long as anybody's really watched the WCC. And so one of the other teams that's kind of been in that championship game, BYU, not in the conference this year. We were talking about that earlier today in the hotel, how we kind of realized, you're looking at it, the Pac-12 dissolving and the Big 12 kind of expanding. Even though BYU's not in the Pac-12, they were in the WCC. They moved to the Big 12. They've been in the Big 12 the last 2 seasons, so they've missed out on a couple of WCC tournaments, but they're one of those teams where it's not St. Mary's or Gonzaga that is there. And it's been a really, really fun conference to watch, because when you get to those semifinals, it's always, can somebody beat Gonzaga? It's not, will Gonzaga win? It's, can somebody beat them? Because Gonzaga's going to be there. They're in the semis, because the number 1 and number 2 seeds get that huge bye. The number 1 and 2 don't even play till Monday. So they're probably not even in Vegas until maybe Saturday or Sunday, and they can enjoy a long rest. Portland and Pacific, if you want to win a championship, you got to play like 6 straight games in 6 days. It's really challenging. And so this league is definitely set up to favor Gonzaga in St. Mary's, and it's been the championship game in 12 of the last 15 years. And it's been a really, really good dominant run from St. Mary's and Gonzaga, but it's mostly been the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we are about to get started for this second half between Portland and Pepperdine. But yeah, it's definitely always been through Gonzaga and maybe St. Mary's maybe having a shot. But I think, Davis, this year may be better than any year to have a shot at beating Gonzaga. I think everybody kind of has a swinging chance.
everybody does have a chance, and I think that's the beauty of college basketball we mentioned earlier. If you don't have your best regular season, especially in the WCC, it's really challenging to beat St. Mary and Gonzaga, but it can be done. They're not invincible. So for example, San Francisco or Santa Clara, if they get hot, or even Oregon State or Washington State, anybody within the top 6 to 11, and that's the entire conference. So any single team can have a good run. You go out and you win your games, all of a sudden you're in the big dance, and you maybe even steal a bid from a Gonzaga or a St. Mary's.
The Pilots getting ready to try to maybe extend this lead right now. They're leading 38-29 as we are about to get started of this second half of the first of second game that we're going to be doing today for this WCC tournament.
You see there's some Oregon State scouts up in the top, or straight across from us as we're kind of straight on this court. We're up and down this court, and the Oregon State will play the winner of Portland and Pepperdine. So they're up here getting some early scouting in.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to see kind of who is the guy. And right now for Portland, it's been a mix of Rapp and Magic, as Rapp's going to start the second half with a hucked up three. No good. It's going to rattle out of bounds, and it's going to be Waves basketball. 1948, the second half just starting, 38-29. Odom bringing up the rock for the Waves. The Waves in their all-navy. Odom trying to carve around the arc. Entry, quick pass over to Budka. No good. Rebound, Magic. Magic bringing up the rock for the Pilots. On the opposite side of the court now. Dinged it, trying to end up with it. Gives it to Austin. Short corner. Tries to drive into the paint. Kicks out. Ding Dick. The three, and it's going to go in. Bull Ding Dick, the 6'11 Melbourne native, rattles in his first three of the night. Odom over to Beetha. Back over to him. Looking at Todorovic. Gives it back over to Buka. Buka looking at Kolabali. Gives it back to Odom. A nice little move. Step back, almost a three, but gives it over to Kolabali in the post. 5 on the shot clock, and he's going to end up throwing it away. McKinnon's going to end up with it. Coast to coast, easy finger roll layup into the cup for McKinnon. 43-29, Portland leading. Odom looking at Buka. Back over to him. Dings it around the arc for the Waves. Kolabali. Odom's going to end up with it. Hucks up another three. Nothing but net for him. And he's kind of been the facilitator for the night for the Waves. 43-32 now. Pepperdine still down by 11. Rapp, top of the key, guarded by Bushka. Austin's going to end up with it. Hucks up a little 15-footer. No good. Rebound Odom. Odom gives an entry. It's a couple kicks out. Beetha's going to end up with it. Corner three. Nothing but now. And now a couple back-to-back threes. 43-35 now. Pepperdine down just by 8. McKinnon over to Rapp. An easy little entry pass over to Dingdit. Rapp trying to be an assist maker for the Pilots. Odom guarded by Rapp and tries to draw to the lane. And it looks to be he dribbled it onto the baseline, it looks to be, or maybe stepped out.
Yeah, another turnover from Odom. A couple of times in this game, he's lost his handle. Very quick guard, but a few too many turnovers that you would not like to see if you're head coach Ed Chilling, because that's your best ball handler. And if he's dribbling down the baseline and losing it, who else can you trust to handle the ball?
The Pacific transfer, his freshman sophomore season, definitely very quick at 6'1". From the Bronx in New York. Magic ending up the ball for the Pilots. Gives it to Rapp, who's going to go into the lane. Tries to lay it up, but it's going to be fouled instead, and he's going to go to the free throw line. 10-point ball game, into this game already.
Pepperdine yet to miss from the free throw line, and Portland only had 2 free throws in that first half. They were both from Masic, and he missed one of them. So Portland's shooting just 50%, but kind of rare, especially nowadays in modern basketball where players like to get to the free throw line and get those essentially free points. To only have 2 in one half is kind of a pretty low mark for Portland.
Rapp's first free throw, right down the middle, his second. extends the lead to 12 for Portland, 47-35. Odom looking at Betha in the right corner. Thought about a screen maybe, doesn't give it. Tries to enter it in to Buka, but he's going to lose that entry pass. Dangdick's going to inbound the basketball for the Pilots. Majik is going to end up with it. Masick guarded by Odom. Screen by Dangdick. Looked at the roll, doesn't give it to him. Masick guarded heavily by Odom. Great on-ball defense. It's batted away. And what it's going to be Pepperdine basketball. So a great defensive series for Odom and the Wave crew as they're going to move the ball, and Odom's going to try to advance it quickly. Odom crossing the division line. Portland still up by 12 in this game. 20 on the shot. Buka. Quick handoff to Todorovic, who's been kind of quiet in this second half. He's going to go through the cup and get fouled, trying to decide if it's on the ground or not.
McKinnon got a shoulder full of Todorovic. That was a lot of contact, and it's going to go against McKinnon. He was not in an illegal guarding position when he bonked into the shoulder of Todorovic, but that was a hard hit. And I would not be surprised if he's going to feel that tomorrow.
Yes.
And hopefully for him, he's thinking, I want to play tomorrow and maybe feel this pain in my mouth instead of feeling the pain in my mouth on a flight home to Portland.
Yeah, he's definitely hurting for sure, as Todorovic, the 6'8" Serbian native, is going to go to the stripe, try to put in 2 free throws, the first one being good. Yeah, you can see Majik is definitely kind of grabbing onto his chest and jaw. And, yeah, 6'8", 210, definitely a lot of basketball player. His second is also good as well, as Rapp's going to inbound. 10-point ball game. Oh, it's the Waves coming out into a press, and Rapp nearly throws it away as Odom almost got that ball.
There's been a couple of plays from Rapp in this game that just points to him being a freshman. You got to be able to get that ball inbounded, even against a press.
Rapp swings over to Masick. Back over to him. Rapp's going to bring up the rock. Crosses. It's going to be batted around. McKinnon's going to end up with it. Gives it to Austin. Into the paint. Kicks it back out. Majik is going to kind of settle down the offense. McKinnon now has it. Screened by Dingdit. McKinnon, entry to Dingdit into the post. Double, triple team. Ball thrown away. Going to be Pepperdine ball. Odom's going to end up with it. Advancing quickly. Pushing. Drawing to the lane. Throws up a little fadeaway. Rebound. Koulibaly back over to Odom. Great offensive rebound by him. Todorovic is going to end up with it. Buka now in the post. Kick out Odom. 3 ball, no good. Rebound by Rapp, who's going to be hit in the face. Looks at the official. No call. Quickly advanced, though, from Majik to Austin for the layup. And it looks to be just going to be a block. It's going to stay ball for the Pilots. And we're going to go to a quick timeout. We're going to take a quick break, but you're listening to more WCC tournament basketball on KUGR. And we're ready to get back into this game, a WCC tournament matchup between the Pepperdine Waves and the Portland Pilots. 47-37 ball game, 15:39 left as Portland is leading by 10. And it has been the Rapp and Mazik show, both of them with a 13-point appearance tonight. Rapp being the WCC Freshman of the Year. And Mazik kind of having a career high for himself, or like at least season high or season above average tonight. Odom for the Waves. Inbounds to Kolabali. A nice entry pass, and he's going to put in a two-handed jam for the Waves. Cuts the lead down to 8. Mazik bringing up the rock. Looking for a maybe screen by Rapp. Uses the screen. Looks at the roll. Doesn't give it to him. McKinnon looking for Rapp in the post. Also doesn't give it to him. He's going to go into the post. McKinnon kind of hooks up a little right jump hook, and that's going to rattle in. Extends the lead back to 10. Odom looking to get something going for the Waves. Down by 10, 14:56 left. Beetha's going to heck up a shot. It was a 3, and it's going to be no good. Rebound by Rapp. Rapp, cross course, advance it over to McKinnon. McKinnon sizing up, kicks it back over to Rapp. 3 ball, no good. He has been cold for at least the last couple minutes. Odom, left side, trying to advance the ball. Couple swings around the arcs for the Waves. A lot of waves are going on. It's going to be Todorovic is going to hook up a 3. No good. Rebound Mazik. Guarded heavily now by Odom. 14 minutes left. Portland still leading by 10. Mazik drawing right into the cup. He slashes in there. It's going to hook up a floater. It's going to be no good. Odom's going to end up with it. Odom pulls it back out. Sizing up a 3. Goes to the lane. Kicks it back out to Todorovic. Front iron, no good. Rebound Rapp.
Yeah, Pepperdine's really fortunate in this game that Portland is fortunate that Pepperdine can't score anything because Portland is on a real scoring drought at the point.
It's going to be McKinnon that hucks up a little, spins around. It's going to be batted away off the rebound. Ding Dick, corner 3, no good. Rebound Odom. He's going to run to the other side. Gives it over to Beetha and almost hit an official. He's going to go baseline. Misses the easy layup. Gets his own rebound. Hucks up another leg. Going to miss that, but ultimately going to get fouled. And yeah, both teams starting with P's, kind of a little bit of a tongue twister. It's like purple people eaters, whatever that is. You know that tongue twister. Davis, you know what I'm talking about.
I know. I think pickles or something.
Yeah,
in there.
Pickle Peter Pumpkin Eater. I don't know. Zion Beetha is going to end up at the free throw line. The South Orange, New Jersey native. His first free throws, no good as well. Missed a lay that, when he drived baseline, should have went in. Missed it. Got fouled on the second missed layup. His second free throw, hopefully maybe going in. And that one's going to go in. Cutting that lead down to 9. And Pepperdine, trying to maybe get something going if they can. 13 minutes left. Portland leading 49-40. Mazik. Quick over to Austin. Pump fakes a 3. Goes baseline. Kicks it back out. Gives it over to Rapp. 3 ball. Nothing but nylon for him. He's got 16.
Yeah, it felt like both teams really hit a wall in that middle stretch of this second half. Just kind of being tired, but then Rapp just drills a 3.
Odom kicks it back over to Todorovic. Rebound. Kolabali tries to tip in the lane. And it's just no good. Nothing can get started for the Waves. McKinnon, Austin, 3 ball, no good. Rebound to Todorovic. Todorovic is going to cross-court pass over to Odom. Another cross-court pass over to Beetha. Back to him. Odom, Todorovic. Looking back at Betha, 3-ball air ball. Rapp's going to get the board. Yikes.
Man,
nothing going.
Pepperdine just cannot get anything to go.
And Masic's just going to go through the lane, and he's fired up as he has 15 for an easy layup. Now it's a 54-40 ball game. And yeah, Pepperdine's going to have to call a timeout. Ed Schilling and the Pepperdine coaching staff just trying to get something going. Layups are just not going in for the Waves.
Yeah, layups aren't going, three-pointers aren't going, mid-range not going, free throws aren't going, nothing is going right for Pepperdine. They definitely need this timeout, and it's tough because they were right there in that game down by 10. Portland was on a scoring drought of themselves. They missed their last 4 before Rapp put in that 3. And Pepperdine didn't convert in any of those opportunities. If they make even half of those layups that they missed, they're right back in this game. But now they're down by 14. And this is the kind of thing that makes you realize why we're a 9 seed in the WCC for Pepperdine.
Yeah, definitely struggling for sure. I think the jarring number out of all of their record numbers is that 4-14 in conference. 10-21, definitely not great either. But, double-digit wins is, something at least. But 4-14 in conference, you can kind of see how they've maybe struggled on the seasons against, some decent, if not really good WCC teams. And right now is no different than kind of the rest of their kind of conference season.
Yeah, and Oregon State's probably watching this game going, okay, well, if Portland is going to shoot the 3 in this game, maybe they won't shoot it that well against us. That would be right now the one thing that Oregon State's probably watching is this the 3-pointers that are going down for Portland. They've made 9 3-pointers in this game, so if Oregon State can close out on threes, it's where else can Portland's offense go, and that's maybe what you're looking for the Pilots. Can you get something else that's not a 3-pointer from Rapp or Masic?
Yes, exactly, and Rapp right now with 16, Masic with 15, and, we keep on bringing Masic up because, he's averaging 9 a game, so for him, this is kind of a great night. Usually not averaging those type of numbers. Yeah, averaging, not a ton. Prior to coming to Portland, he was averaging 2 a game. So, right now, he's heating up and having the time of his life. And he's looking like he's been here before, and this is routine for him. And on paper, it's really not. But great for him, having a great night. As we got a little T-shirt toss going on into the crowd tonight. Yeah, definitely a great environment into this kind of smaller arena size. Orleans Arena, a little bit on the older side. We're thinking like Beasley. Beasley also kind of old too, but definitely cozy for sure. And not a ton of people in here, but definitely can get loud. So, thinking about maybe the semifinals and the championship when this place can get packed out, this place could be rocking for sure.
I think it's going to get rocking as we go throughout this tournament. We were talking just out of halftime that this tournament's been dominated by Gonzaga and St. Mary's, and those fans are already here. A lot of Gonzaga fans haven't seen as many St. Mary's fans, but I would imagine the people down in California, it's a shorter commute, so they can just pop on over to Las Vegas once the time comes where the Gales will be playing. But by Monday and Tuesday night, and even maybe Sunday, I think this place will start to fill in a little more.
And it's going to be Dozier is going to inbound the ball for the Waves. Odom's going to end up with it, though. Tries the entry to Kolobali. He's going to get fouled by either Rapp or McKinnon on that left block. And fouls were an issue for the Pilots in the first half. 12 minutes. There's still a ton of time in this second half as Portland's still leading by 14, 54-40, 12:05 left.
Yeah, Portland had a lot of fouls in that first half. Pepperdine had a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes in that end of that first half where they were at the free throw line. Only 3 so far.
It's going to be Olvera who's going to huck up a 3. No good. And, oh, my goodness, a quick dive for that rebound off of Olvera's miss. And it looked to be Kolobali. He was kind of diving for the ball, and that could have been a little ugly little injury as they were both kind of diving at legs and arms, and definitely don't want your limbs kind of going at wood. Definitely could be bad as, you want people for these next couple of days. And we're going to have another TV timeout. We're going to take a quick break, but you're going to be right back here listening to more WCC basketball here in Orleans Arena on KUGR. We are right back in Las Vegas, Nevada. A lot warmer than it is in Pullman, Washington, back home with the folks kind of finishing up on their spring break. It is a Friday, so last day of classes, maybe people kind of getting out of town and trying to get out of there. Maybe going to, I don't know, Cabo or, I don't know. We're college kids, But we did notice that there are some Coug fans in attendance to this Portland Pepperdine game, which you love to see some Crimson. We've gotten some Go Cougs throughout our trip. Odom's going to inbound the ball to Kolobali, and he's going to finally put up an easy lay for himself. Put up 2, and he's going to cut the lead down to 12. Mazik bringing it back out behind the arc for Portland. Guarded heavily by Odom. Great defense by him. 15 on the shot clock. Mazik can't get anything going. A couple swings around. Rapp's going to throw up another 3. Rebounded over by Olvera. Going to give it over to Odom. Great defense set by him. Odom maybe trying to get something going. He's only got 8 tonight. Odom swings it back over to Todorovic. To Budka. No good. Rebound Olvera. Olvera's going to bring it back behind the arc. Another corner 3 by Budka. That one's also going to be no good. And it's going to be off the hands of Mazik. I don't know about you. That didn't really look like it was off the hands of Mazik. It looked like it was going to be Kolobali. But yeah, it's going to stay Pepperdine ball as Delano's going to check in and out. Yeah, it looked like he got a little bit of time there from the timeout to the next buzzer, and he's going to check out. Odom gives it right back to Olvera. Back to him. Screen. He's going to huck up a 15-footer, and a good shot by him. Much needed now. 10:55 left in the second half. Portland leading by 9. The Waves going back into their 1-2-2 press. It's going to be Ballou's going to bring up the basketball for the Pilots. Hasn't seen a ton of time tonight. 6'5", 200 guard. Ballou driving his way into the post. Trying to get something going. Gives it to Austin, who almost loses it. 10 on the shot clock. Austin carves his way into the lane. Step back midi, no good. Rebound, Dojic. Gives it to Odom. It's kind of now or maybe never for Pepperdine. Odom, 3-ball, nothing but net. And now we got a timeout by the Pilots. And Odom by himself has now given some life back into Pepperdine. And now we have what was a 12-point game. Pepperdine now only down by, I can't add for some reason, by 6 points right now. Portland up 54-48.
Well, and then you look at Todorovic's numbers, who's got 12 points in this game, averages 18. If he's at his average by this point in the game, they're tied. So Pepperdine with a little bit of life all of a sudden after those Odom back-to-back threes. And he's been wanting that all game. He's been taking a couple of them. He's 3 of 7 from three-point line after those 2 made threes. He's a really good point guard from the Bronx, and there's been a lot of really great point guards from that New York, New Jersey area. And a lot of times you'll be watching a broadcast, and there's a point guard from the Jersey area, and the broadcast will be making a big deal of it. But that's a really tough circuit of basketball players up in New Jersey. So Odom, the fact that he's over at Pepperdine, like just bringing this experience from the Jersey and New York basketball area, you can tell that he's got that swagger about him because he's never giving up. Even though he's 3 of 7, he's going to keep firing.
He reminds me a lot of like maybe a Stephon Marbury. That's a little bit of an older comparison, but someone from that like New York scene of a kind of slash super quick guard that can finish and can shoot. Mazik's going to end up with it for the Pilots. The Pilots trying to add more to this lead and not give Pepperdine life. Rapp sizing up Kolobali. Gives it back to Mazik. Uses a screen by Rapp. 10 on the shot clock. Mazik. Entry to McKinnon. Back over to Rapp. 3-ball. No good. Rebound Austin for the punt back. And that's going to add another 2 for Portland. Odom cross-court quick pass over to Todorovic, who's going to cross up Mazik and put up an easy lay. Todorovic, who's been kind of quiet tonight, averaging 18 for the Waves, going to put in another 2 and is going to keep the lead for Portland at 6. McKinnon. This game's getting a lot closer. A steal by Odom. Odom going to put up an easy lay, and now we have a 4-point ball game, and Odom is fired up as he should be. McKinnon's going to bring up the rock. Now over for the Pilots. McKinnon looking to try to get something going. 9 minutes left. Portland leading by 4. Rapp has it at the free throw line. Trying to back down. It's going to give it over to Dingdit. Dingdit 10 on the shot clock. Gives it over to Mazik. Thinks about a 3. Doesn't do it. 5 on the shot clock. He's got to get something going. 4, 3, 2. Mazik fadeaway. A great block by Kolabali. And now it's a shot clock violation. Pepperdine basketball. And the Pepperdine sideline is fired up as we now have a 4-point ball game, 8:51 left into this game. And now it's like the momentum and energy in this place has definitely changed a lot.
That has definitely switched over to the Pepperdine side.
Odom trying to get something going. Sizing up, Rapp. Looked over to Dojic. He has it. Back to Odom. Thinks about a 3, a mixed match. Hucks up a 3. Odom, and that is good. And for the first time in a long time, it is a 1-point ball game for Pepperdine. McKinnon trying to go baseline, and it is stolen away. And the Waves have a chance to take the lead for the first time in what feels like forever.
Yeah, it feels like Odom's going to take something, or it's going to be to Todorovic, because those two players have been on an absolute tear in the last couple minutes.
Odom, 3-ball, cash money. Odom is red hot. Heat check, and Pepperdine leading 58-56.
Technical fouls with assist for 5.
Oh, and they're going to call a technical foul on Odom. I don't know what he did. Oh, and that's not what you needed.
Yeah, that is devastating for
that's
Odom.
Awful. Don't need that. Amazing shot by Odom stepping up to the opportunity, but now you're giving free throws to a Portland team that's been up the entire game, and what is a 2-point lead is now a 1-point lead. And not only that, McKinnon, who made the first free throw for Portland, is going to shoot another, and they're also going to get possession of the ball. The last thing you wanted is a technical foul.
Yeah.
The momentum has shifted in this place, and the energy has been alive. And the second one's missed, but going to stay possession. Pepperdine now still with that 1-point lead.
There's 8 minutes and 1 second on the clock. After this inbound, the next dead ball will be a media timeout. Portland really needs a timeout at this point. 4 consecutive threes from Odom. They've taken the lead. Portland is just reeling at this point. It seems like they need a timeout. They might get one on the benefit of the media timeout. They really, really need one.
Rob's going to inbound for the Pilots. Going to give it over to McKinnon. See if the Waves can get another stop. Hand off Austin. Austin's going to get it. Swings it over to Mazik. Mazik to Dingdit. Looking at Rapp, doesn't give it to him. Gives it to Mazik. McKinnon is going to draw to the lane. Ball's nearly lost away. 14 on the shot clock. Mazik's going to hug up a 3, and that's going to rattle in and going to get the lead for them, and they're going to be up by 2. Odom nearly fouled. He's going to go to the lane. Kick out to Dorovic. He's going to put up a 17-footer. No good. It's going to stay Pepperdine basketball, but because of that dead ball, it's going to be a media timeout. And Davis, it seemed like almost overnight that the momentum of this place has definitely switched. There's not a ton of people in here, but it definitely got super loud and super lively with this Pepperdine comeback. So, what are you thinking about the last couple minutes here?
Well, it's definitely all Mo Odom. He's been the catalyst for Pepperdine in this comeback attempt. They took the lead. Now it's back to Portland after that Masic 3. But Odom is the guy that has to be taking all the shots going down the stretch for Pepperdine. It's really interesting that he has made 4 consecutive threes. He's really done a great job. He's up to 5 made threes in this game. I don't know if you're going to go to any other player other than Odom if you're Pepperdine. They went to Dorovic on that possession. It was a good pass from Odom down low, but he was right at the hoop. Maybe you shoot that because it seems like he's the only player that's got authorization on this basket. There's a lid there, and as soon as Odom shoots it, it opens back up for Pepperdine.
Yeah, Odom being the commander, the native New Yorker with 22 points now. And we had kind of been talking about him not really heating up a ton tonight, and Todorovic really being the main one who is averaging 18 a night, and definitely not at that right now. And Todorovic with 14, but Mo Odom from the Bronx, remember his name. He has definitely had a night tonight. Even depending on how the situation has turned out, there's still a lot of time on the clock, 7:28. But, he's averaging 12 a game. So, 22 points for him with another 7 minutes left. Would love to see how this game finishes off, and we're going to have a fun one tonight. We're going to take maybe a quick little break to finish this media timeout, but we're going to be just right back with you with some more entertaining basketball on KUGR. We are right back in Orleans Arena, and a little bit of a media game here, some kind of in-game festivities as Raising Cane's, you know, a great restaurant, a great sponsor, just a great company in general, sponsoring some of this WCC tournament. And Odom and the Waves, who have also been hot tonight, are going to, oh my goodness, and a great inbound pass over to Kolabali for an alley-oop, and he's going to slam it on Raps' head. And it looks like we have a foul as well. It's going to be an ample opportunity. The Pilots may be looking for maybe a technical foul or some sort, because Kolabali, rightfully so, is fired up. It's a tie ball game, 60-all, 7:28, and now Kolabali, who's been kind of silent most of the night, is going to go to the strike. Here's one. Taking his time. Going to rattle in, and now the Waves leading by one, and they're in this type of 1-2-2 press. And it's going to be beaten by the Pilots. Mazik trying to maybe chop off a little bit of time. 7 minutes left. Dribbling the ball in and out, trying to size up who can get the best opportunity for a shot. Wrap back over to him. Mason's going to huck up a three, and it's going to go right in. He is not shy from a big moment, and he's had a great night tonight. Odom on the opposite side, who's also had a great time tonight. Sized up by Mason. Looking, going to swing it over to Dojic. Dojic looking at Todorovic. Todorovic back over to Odom. Todorovic, three ball, no good. Great rebound by Kolabali. Swings it back over to Todorovic. The next three is good. 64-63 ball game, 6:30 left into this second half.
Yeah, prior to that, make 0 for 7. He finally got his first one to go down. What a good response from Pepperdine.
Mazik guarded heavily by Odom. Pepperdine up now by one, which has been new for this game. Austin, cross-court pass over to Dingdick. He's going to try to drive. And it's going to be called a jump ball, what maybe could have been a travel, but it's not going to matter. It's going to be Pepperdine ball anyway.
They have the Waves with the 1-point lead. Mo Odom, maybe his name should be Momentum, because he's given Pepperdine everything he's got.
Oh, that was good. I love that. Momenta for sure. Mo's going to swing it over to Dojic. Dojic back to Kolabali, who's been another game changer for the Waves. The Waves are definitely swaying. Kolabali in the post, and another jam. He is fired up. Back-to-back slams for him. He's going to put it on another person's head, trying to grab a poster tonight. McKinnon bringing up the ball. Waves up by 3. 66-63 ball game. 5:30 left. Mazik sizing up Odom. Cars into the lane. And it's going to be taken away by Todorovic, who loses the basketball, but just a great slap so that Mazik doesn't get the layup, but going to stay Portland ball. Mazik into Dingdick. Backs hands off to him. 10th shot. Guarded heavily by Todorovic. Going to size him up. Mazik crossing him. A little fadeaway. It's going to rattle in and out. Great rebound by Todorovic. Outlet over to Odom. Odom guarded heavily by Mazik. Odom taking his time. Very poised in this crucial situation. Pepperdine leading by 3, 4:55 left. Dojic is going to huck up a three, and it's going to be nothing but net. Fired up, the true freshman, Danilo Dojic, the other Serbian native, is going to huck up a three for himself. Now Pepperdine leading by 6, their biggest lead of the night. Mazik trying to go into the lane, and he's going to get blocked by, look like Kolabali, and what is blocked is going to be off of Mazik's hand, and it's going to stay Pepperdine ball, and the momentum is definitely switched into this ball game.
Every ounce of momentum in this arena is with Pepperdine. The Portland fans that have made this trip down thought they were going to get another game, but Pepperdine has said not so fast.
Mo Odom, the all-star of this game tonight for the Pepperdine Waves, siding up Mazik, sizing him up, trying to draw into the cup, looking for the fadeaway, a great another dish, and hands it right off to Kolabali, who pump fakes Rap, goes into him, and he's going to go to the line.
Odom is just so in control at this point in this game. Consecutive threes, made 4 in a row to get Pepperdine the lead initially, and then a lot of great drives to the cup, but he hasn't been trying to finish it. He knows that he's small. He's right at the cup. He's made a couple of great dishes, and instead of kicking it out for threes, it's into Kolabali with a couple of dunks, and now he's at the free throw line.
Kolabali now at the stripe. Rap has 4 fouls himself. We're getting kind of in crucial minutes, and 4 minutes is still a lot of time. Pepperdine leading by 7.
Yeah, Rap's been really quiet since Pepperdine started going on that run. It's interesting to see if he will step back up, but with 4 fouls, and one of those fouls was that push in the back we talked about earlier in the game. How does that factor into this game?
Second rebound, no good rebound by Rap. He's going to outlet it over to McKinnon, and Portland's kind of in a rush. The first time tonight, Mazik's going to huck up a 3, and it's going to be good, cutting that lead back down, and this game is going to be close and hopefully going down to the wire. 4 minutes left, Pepperdine leading by 4, 72-66. Odom, the star of tonight. Mo Odom, cross-court pass over to back to him. It's going to be just swung around to the arc. Odom trying to paint his way in through the paint, and it's going to be Dojic, another 3, and it's going to be nothing but net. He has had back-to-back threes for himself, and he is smiling and happy like a kid on Christmas. McKinnon, Rap, Mazik, carving to the lane. Going to be a foul on the ground, though. He got through off the kind of step hop and threw up a floater. It's going to be a foul on the ground, and we are going to have a timeout. Davis, what's your impression? I mean, I know we kind of talked about it, but these last couple minutes have definitely switched in a flurry of areas. Not only, obviously, Pepperdine heating up on the offensive end, you know, with Odom with 22, and also Todorovic now having 17. He's getting back up to his averaging. But how in other ways have Pepperdine kind of turned this game a complete 180?
Yeah, Pepperdine started to really lock in on the defensive side as well. A couple of blocks down the stretch, and they're rebounding really well. And then that's also just transitioning into offense. When you get good stops and you can't let Portland score, they're in a rut all of a sudden, and then they're down on the defensive side trying to figure out what to do on offense while they're playing defense. And the nice thing about basketball for the other side, when the momentum's on your side, both players for all 5 players for Portland are playing offense and defense. If one side isn't going well, that can also impact the other side. So if they're not scoring on offense, their defense isn't going to be as good, and Pepperdine's really taking advantage of that. And Odom up to a double-double with assists and points, which is kind of a rare stat. You typically see double-doubles with rebounds. That's more common, but Odom has been dishing this ball out so nicely today, and then that 4 consecutive 3-point stretch that he had really has cemented this game for him probably to be the MVP of this game.
Yeah, Mo Odom definitely having a night tonight. Yeah, averaging 7 assists a game, and it's been nothing short of that tonight. And especially to Kolabali, who for at least almost all of the first half and a majority of the second half have been dead silent, missing even layups where, you know, he's 2 feet from the basket. And for someone, Kolabali standing at 6'10", you know, those are, you know, got to be almost gimmies. But you know, staying poised, staying level-minded, and, you know, it just took one, and Odom with a couple threes, it gave momentum, it gave hope to the team, gave them a little faith, and now they have all the encouragement and swagger in the world to try to finish this game off. And, yeah, this environment is just great here, you know, for the first game that we're kind of attending right now for the tournament, and many more to come for us in the next couple of days. But, yeah, I'm really excited to kind of see how this tournament's going to unfold. And this is nothing short of, kind of what you're getting your money's worth if you're buying a ticket here tonight.
Yeah, this is a really good game. We kind of talked about it before the game started in the Open, that this is kind of the game that will go down to the wire, going to come down to last possession, the 8-9 matchup in the WCC. Maybe not the best quality teams in the country, but they're definitely evenly matched. We talked about they were separated by 1 total point coming into this game, and it's been a fantastic game. And it's been really exciting because Pepperdine has kind of flipped the script entirely. Portland all of a sudden down 7 points, even though guys like Masic has been playing really great, and Rapp has had a great game, and McKinnon, but they've gone quiet down this stretch, except for Masic, who's got 7 threes, which is also a ridiculous amount. But both teams playing really good basketball down the stretch.
Yeah, the Pepperdine Waves almost like a tsunami against Portland. Portland's going to end up with it. Dang Dick's going to huck up a corner 3. No good. A great rebound by Olvera, who's going to end up with it. Now Odom trying to be poised and kind of slow down Pepperdine. Nearing 3 minutes left. Pepperdine leading 73-66. Odom's going to drive right to the cup. And an easy, high off the glass finger roll layup adds another 2, 75-66. And now Pepperdine is up by 9. The Pilots about to crash. But it is not over yet as McKinnon hooks up a 3, and that's going to fall in. Maybe looking for a foul, but doesn't get it. 2:45 left. Odom guarded heavily by Masic. Odom with 24 tonight. Odom still guarded. Looking to see if he can get something happen. Gives it to Dojic, right back to him. 10 on the shot clock. Trying to clear out. Kolabali looking, and it's going to be Odom. A free throw line fadeaway jumper's good. Odom is nothing but net in this game. But a quick pass over to McKinnon, who's down the post. Kick out Rapp. Can he get something going? No good. Left iron. Rebound Odom. Now we're nearing 2 minutes left. 77-69. 2 minutes left. Pepperdine now leading. Odom guarded heavily by Masic. Trying to draw off the clock as much as he can. No 5-second violation as he's not guarded heavily. Looking for another screen by Kolabali, who's been a weapon for him. And he's going to toss up another floater, Odom, off the baseline. And he now has 28 points, nearly 30 for him. Masic for the Pilots. Trying to get something going. If not, it could be over. Masic, entry, Rapp. A great block by Kolabali. Sends it over to the cheerleaders. But it looks like he's going to get fouled beforehand, and Rapp's going to go to the stripe. And it's kind of now or never. Is the plane kind of going to crash for the Pilots?
Austin Rapp.
The WCC Freshman of the Year, Austin Rapp, the Melbourne native, his first free throw, no good. Right iron. And that's definitely, Davis, I think, something of experience where you're getting in these kind of wire situations. If you lose, you do go home. His second. Also, no good. Back iron. Rebound Kolabali. And it could be over. We're within 1:30. Pepperdine is up by 10. And Odom, poised as ever. Spin move. Guarded by Masic. He's kind of taken him back to New York tonight. And it's going to be, they're going to kind of run into each other, maybe hitting faces or hitting mouths. And Masic is gripping his mouth, and he is fired up, really unhappy, looking for maybe a foul by Odom, but it looked like it was just a basketball play and they kind of ran into each other. I think he's just kind of mad from a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah, you read my mind. I think the frustration for Portland is just so immense because you were playing such a great game and then picked the worst possible time to go ice cold, and then Pepperdine took that. They smelled blood in the water, and then they've just been an inferno on offense.
Yeah, the Waves are crashing in on the Pilots. And Portland, McKinnon trying to tie a shoe, maybe trying to grab a couple seconds, but it might not matter with 1:20. Pepperdine up by 10. They need it now. Try to get a stop. Odom's going to get the inbound for the Waves. Odom trying to carve into the lane, throws up an easy alley over to Olvera, the Houston native, and now the lead is 12. 1:10. McKinnon is going to try to bring it up for the Pilots. It really, I don't think, matters. It is an 11-point game. and this game has completely switched it as a timeout is called, and Portland kind of putting up their last prayers and hopes to try to see if they can get anything out of this, but it looks to be over.
What a comeback from
Oh
Pepperdine. Not just a comeback, just an absolutely thrashing of this Portland Pilots team in this later half of the second half. It's really not been that long that they've been on this run, but they are on a 6-0 run over the last minute 17, but just in its entirety of this last couple of minutes, just so relentless on the offensive side. Portland just doesn't even know what hit them.
Yeah, they are drowned right now from Pepperdine, and I think who's really leading it is Mo Odom. He has definitely taken the team on his back, and he said, I'm going to carry you guys through this. If we got any shot, it's going to be through me, and he definitely did that.
Well, he's up to a new season high. His other season high in this game, this season was 26 points against Loyola Marymount, who we'll see coming up later with San Diego and LMU playing after this game's done. But Odom up to 28 points in this game, a new season high for him.
And for Portland, it's kind of now or never, 1:10 left. Pepperdine leading by 11, 81-69. McKinnon's going to end up with it. He needs something quick. McKinnon drawing to the lane, throws up a hook shot. He's going to get fouled by Koulibaly. He's going to go to the line. 1:04 on the clock. And now for Portland, which for the majority of the game had been, just try to coast and keep on scoring, but now it's kind of do or die period. You maybe want to make one, miss the next, and try to get up another opportunity, or, make both and foul really quickly. But, you don't have 2 minutes left now. You have 1 minute and 4 seconds. And in basketball, that can be a lot of time, but not when you're down by 11. So definitely need, 12. McKinnon, the first free throw, rattles in. It's going to rattle in for them. It cuts the lead down to 11. Pepperdine leading 81-70. Now Beetha's going to check in for some crucial minutes. It looks like he's going to take out Odom, which is great because he's had a night tonight. And I don't know if this is maybe just a coaching strategy. I don't know if Odom is as great as a free throw shooter. Yes, he's a 61% free throw shooter. So definitely a great coaching decision. Not the best at the line. Second free throw's good. And, we have a couple of flurries after the made free throw. Looks like Dozier is going to get the inbound, but going to be called for an offensive foul.
Yeah, they're going to get a technical foul on the elbow of Todorovic.
Don't want to make something kind of crazy happen, and now that's going to be free throws for the Pilots. And because he kind of ripped through with that elbow, we're going to look at the replay. It happened all super fast. And no, it looked to be Todorovic is actually going to be called for the technical foul. And, yeah, it's going to be against, on Micah Ballou. And definitely didn't want that from Todorovic. The leading scorer and definitely like their guy or one of their guys. And now the officials are going to take a peek at it to see if this was just a technical foul or just an offensive foul.
Definitely made contact with Ballou. I don't know if it was the elbow. Take another look at the replay on the Jumbotron. It's mostly the shoulder. He went with the elbow, but the shoulder made contact, and so maybe it is an offensive foul, but I don't know about a technical, excessive type flagrant foul.
I don't think so.
Pepperdine there. I just don't think it's the elbow. It looked like it was the shoulder mostly, but ultimately it's up to the ref's discretion to decide whether or not, even if it was the shoulder, if that's not a realistic basketball play.
Right. Just when you think, it's kind of out for Pepperdine, they try to kind of pull them back in a little bit. And they're going to review it. The officials are going to take a longer peek.
44, Michael Ballou, that's his second personal 7th team foul.
Okay, so maybe it seems like they're going to get a foul on Ballou and then also a technical foul on Todorovic because of the elbow. So a foul initially and then the foul on the other contact. But it seeed to me that it was all in one motion. So I don't know how Portland would also get called for a foul in that scenario.
I don't know how Micah Ballou gets called for a foul in that scenario. If anything, it should have just been the offensive foul by Todorovic. And looks to be Coach Schilling and the Pepperdine coaching staff trying to kind of talk through it. Is it's one thing to kind of, grab the basketball and kind of rip through. You're allowed to do that. But when you make contact with, a player's face or arm or something like that, that's where it can be a foul.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of those type of plays in this game. McKinnon's mouth has been bloody for most of this game after getting hit in the face. He got called for the foul when he got hit in the face. So there's been a couple of that, instances of this type of thing happening. It'll be interesting to see what the refs end up doing at this point. Since they are reviewing it, they can change it. So we'll see what they do.
Trying to see if something is – they're taking a very long time to kind of look at the decision. And it looked to be – I don't know if you can tell from that back corner as like the tunnels from the locker rooms, but I think that's LMU, maybe San Diego. I'm kind of blind as a bat when you get further than like a court's distance, but it looks like they're ready to warm up as this game, not taking a ton of time, but it's, nearing 2 hours. It's 7:57 or so, and that game going to be starting at 8:30. So, definitely want to get them on the floor, try to stretch them and get some warm up for a game. The schedule is definitely all moving, but officials taking their good and sweet time, trying to decide if this is a technical foul, and definitely could add to the game and kind of see if, they can put in another free throw. Is this just a common foul? And, what is now a 10-point game with a minute left, we can see if it gets extended.
Well, the way that these two teams have shot the three in this game, a minute and 1 second with a 10-point deficit, that's not unrealistic for what we've seen in this game.
Odom checks back into the game. Yeah, I mentioned that he's a 61% free throw shooter. So if everything checks out and, they do complete this game, being up by 10, as we're going to get the call.
Foul stays on 44 white. The contact dead ball technical foul on number 7 will be retracted. 7 will shoot 1-1.
I agree with the call that retracting the technical foul, but the fact that Micah Ballou's still getting the common foul after getting kind of elbowed in the face.
Yeah, he's not happy about it. He's shaking his head as he's walking down into the free throw blocks.
Yeah, he's definitely not happy. Coach Lagans is still talking to the official, going like, what's going on? Rapp's going to check back in the game. Mazik is going to also check back into the game. And now Todorovic, who is an 88% free throw shooter, one of the best. He should be good, hopefully. The first. Nothing but net. Now it is an 11-point ball game, 1:01 left in the second half. And now it's kind of pretty much do or die. If Portland does get a basket, they need it quick and they need it now. The second free throw from Todorovic is also good. Now it's 12 points. Want to take their time. Mazik rushing up the court. 57 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to put up a layup. No good. Rebound by Koulibaly. Todorovic is going to get it, and that could be your ball game. For all you listeners out there, Todorovic kind of swinging around. 45 seconds left, and this game looks to be over. Todorovic over to Dojic. Back over to Overa. Overa to Odom, and yep, that is it. Odom kind of dribbling out the ball, and for Portland, Odom's going to huck up a 3, nothing but net. This guy has had a story tonight. Definitely put his name into the record books for this tournament already. Mazik on the other end is going to huck up a 2, but it really isn't going to matter. It's kind of garbage seconds now. Todorovic to Odom. He has had 31 tonight, a new season high, and he is fired up as ever as Pepperdine comes and steals in a win over a good Portland Pilots team. And that is going to do it. They are going to play Oregon State tomorrow at the same time, 24 hours later at 6 o'clock. We're going to play a really good Oregon State team. So, Davis, what are you thinking after this crazy of a comeback? And not only a comeback, a commanding 13-point win afterwards is pretty insane.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for Portland, who was playing great most of that game. They definitely played better 3/4 of the game, but that 1/4 of the game, they just went ice cold. Pepperdine came in red hot, and you can't do that if you're Portland and you expect to win the game. And Mo Odom, by far the player of the game, 31 points, 6 of 10 from the three-point line. What a performance by Pepperdine just overall. And they've got a tough matchup again tomorrow against Oregon State, especially after exerting that much energy to get back into this game and win. It should be a really fantastic game tomorrow.
Yeah, just an amazing performance by Mo Odom. I mean, he just lit up tonight. And, you know, we were kind of talking about him, how he was kind of facilitating the entire first half, be very poised, kind of giving out shots to other people. But I don't know what happened to him in that halftime. He heated up, and he never took his foot off the pedal. 31 points tonight, a new season high for him, and just a great overall performance by himself, as well as the Pepperdine men's basketball team. And that really is it. It really wasn't that close in those last couple 4 or 5 minutes. They kept on stretching and stretching, hitting more threes and putting in more dunks, and just a great performance. And now the Pepperdine team, with the cheerleading team and the media team and coaching staff, all fired up, and they're definitely moving on to the next round of this WCC tournament game. And I guess, yeah, Davis, I mean, that pretty much is all she wrote. I mean, any other long-lasting words for a great comeback win for Pepperdine?
Well, this is kind of the thing that happens in March. You get a guard from the Bronx and Mo Odom, and then all of a sudden he goes on a tear, and we'll see how his momentum carries him into tomorrow against Oregon State. That's going to be a tough matchup for them to stop him. If Pepperdine is red hot coming out for this game, can they go on a run as a 9 seed in WCC tournament? We shall see tomorrow against the 5th seeded Oregon State Beavers.
Well, I'll tell you what, and right now the ESPN post-game interviews happening right now on ESPN Plus. Mo Odom is surrounded by his fellow teammates, and the camaraderie, the brothership is all there right now. But if Mo Odom plays like that tomorrow night, Oregon State, they better be ready.
Yeah, they better be
that
ready.
Guy, he can heat up, and if he heats up, he's not stopping. So we'll kind of see if that can continue for Pepperdine tomorrow night. And we are going to get into this next game. We'll be back here in a little bit, but wanted to start with a little bit of a preview of LMU and San Diego. LMU right now a 7th seed, and San Diego coming off a first-day win to compete against LMU and Davis. What are you most looking forward to that matchup? In San Diego trying to maybe be a little bit of a Cinderella team and try to make a run at this WCC tournament, which kind of is their only hopes if they want a shot at March or any type of tournament really at all.
Yeah, San Diego's had not the best season, let's put it that way. They've been struggling, but they've been right there in a lot of games, and this one should also be a really fantastic game. And if it's even half as good as the one we just saw with Portland and Pepperdine, we're in for a real treat for the rest of the night, and we'll be on the call for that one.
Yeah, so we're going to be back with nothing but more, hopefully great WCC basketball. You were listening. My name is Josiah, and I'm with Davis Hagen. You'll be hearing from us hopefully here pretty soon in about a half an hour. You're listening to WCC basketball on KUGR.